Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Alter Hines with Living the One Light. All right, this video is going to be almost entirely channeled. Um, and I'm going to be, when feeling wanting to come through, is something along the lines of speaking to some questions I have been getting about what are light codes and how can we communicate with stars. So these two things interweave because, of course, stars are light. And so I can feel it, what's wanting to come through, but we will see what actually does want to come through. But I'll just give a little background on where I think these questions are coming from, and why it feels important to me, Martha me, but also, I mean, the spirit world will say whatever they feel is important. But for Martha me, um, I've been getting a lot of questions about or comments about light codes because I've been channeling a lot lately about light codes igniting as us, in particular in the Ben Huis series, and then also just in some of my recent videos here on the YouTube channel. And so I've been getting a lot of, I would say, a sense of kind of concern from some people, some of you who say, I'm not feeling the light codes. What are light codes? Why are some people feeling it and I'm not? And sort of a sense of inadequacy around that. It's what it's feeling like. And I realized I need to kind of take a step back and break it down. What do I mean when I'm saying that? And more importantly, what does the spirit world mean when they're saying that? Because yeah, I realized I'm going on the assumption that you're feeling it the way I'm feeling it, and I realized you're not me, so probably you aren't. Yeah, and I'll mostly just let them speak, but the one way Martha me could explain what I mean by light codes is that we are light. So for example, one example that comes to Martha me is that every flower, every plant is in a relationship with the sun and the light of the sun. And we are too, just in a different way. But, plants, as we know, use, not all plants, but most plants use photosynthesis. So if you've taken biology classes, we know that literally plants are processing the light of the sun into what their bodies need, for energy and et cetera. And so in a sense, what you could say is that that's a version of plants engaging with light codes. So we use this term light codes as a very kind of woo-woo-y, new agey concept, but actually it's very literal in a lot of ways. It's very grounded because we are beings, we are literally beings of a star system because our sun is a star and it's producing light, sunlight. Um, and we wouldn't exist without it, right? So that's one way to think of it, is that for example, a flower is going to be continually always engaging with light codes. Um, and it's actually not particularly a woo-woo-y thing. It's a scientific and woo-woo, both, and it's just a fact that is who we are, and that is what being a being of a star system is. Um, yeah, and then what I'm feeling is I'm gonna let come through whatever wants to come through regarding what light codes are, and then that kind of segues then into, how do we communicate with stars. And um yes, and I will say two things before I channel. Number one, if you have not yet signed up for the free summit that is starting on March 9th, I'm recording this on March 4th, 2025. There's a free summit starting on March 9th. It's going to go from March 9th to March 30th, 2025. It's available indefinitely for free, no VIP upgrades. You don't, you can sign up for free and you have it forever for free. And it's going to be amazing. I'm really excited about it. Lots of you have already signed up. It's going to be co-facilitated by me and Kaylin Castell, and then it has 10 other speakers who are all really, really wonderful. Lots of people that you're probably very familiar with, like Heather Ensworth, Melanie Reinhart, Keone Hanalei, Chris Skidmore, Ari Moshe Wolf, on and on, right? Amazing, amazing beings, humans. Um, and yeah, we weave in the free talks. They're all of it's free. All of it's free. But in the daily talks, we weave in lots of conversations about this very powerful time that we're in March of 2025, and how this is a time for us to collect individually and collectively really choose to be superconductors of love. And and in there there's some weaving in of this star wisdom as well. And then the other thing I'll say is that if you really, really, really want to connect with star light, star wisdom, also, I will be holding a course called The Stars Speak, starting on April 1st, 2025. And that's going to be really, really special, really wonderful. It will be mostly held by me, but then also Chris Skidmore will be a monthly part of it. And then there will be 4 guest speakers: Heather Ensworth, Divine Harmony, Kaylin Castell, and Julia Balaz. So really, like, kind of can't get better than them in terms of beings that I know who have star wisdom. Just like, wow, wow, wow. Super, super honored and excited that they are all part of it. And if it calls to you, I would love to have you be part of it. So yes. Okay. But back to our channeling. Let's see what wants to come through. Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. So I am actually here as the spirit, the light, the body, and the soul of Gaia. So Martha was expecting more of a light spirit, a being of the cosmos or light. And yet it's me, Gaia, because first and foremost, I am a being of light, and I am a being of the cosmos, literally. And it's me channeling because partly because I am here holding space for you in the reality that you are a being of me, a being of Earth, a being of Gaia, and that is not different from you as a being of light and a being of the cosmos and a being of star light, a being of star systems. It's all true at the same time. It's all one. There's this erroneous and illusory conception of earth and sky as being different, earth and sky as being separate. It's just not true. So that's why, really, in a sense, it's my vibrational quality that's showing up and that's needed right in this moment as Martha's channeling. And so I would love to take a moment just to say hello and say welcome, and to feel as to hold space perhaps for your body to take a deep breath and slow way down to the rhythm of me, to the rhythm of your own body as a being of me, as a being of Earth and Gaia. And I would love to hold space in this moment, in this time, for you to take a deep breath in and out and relax fully into this reality that you are literally me, Gaia, You are earth, and your body is a being, creature made of me, is me, is part of me, and therefore, in a sense, is like a drop of an ocean that is both a drop and the whole ocean at the same time. The same is true for your body as a being of me, and also that is me. Okay, so taking a long, slow, deep breath. I would love for you to now just, first of all, take a deep breath and, as much as you can, listen to these words that there is absolutely no right or wrong way to be experiencing yourself, to be experiencing light codes, to be experiencing yourself as Earth, as Gaia, as cosmos, as the divine. The being that is you has your own unique way. And it's the light, it's the being, it's the body of you, just like a flower that has its own unique, deeply seated, deeply rooted intelligence, divine intelligence that speaks through your cells, that speaks through the light of your being, that speaks through the body of your being more and more and more clearly every moment, every day. And it just is. So there's nothing you need to cognitively understand at all, actually. That's the first thing I want to say. There's no agenda here. There's no right or wrong. There's no quiz. There's no test. That's part of the conditioning of this time for most people, is the sense of a need to accomplish something or to be able to check something off of a checklist, to get the straight A's, to do something good enough. I would love to invite you to take a deep breath in as much as you possibly can. Just let all of those notions go. The only thing for you to do is to simply be. Okay. And given that, now taking another long, slow, deep breath, I invite you to imagine yourself deeply rooted all the way into the center of my heart and rising all the way tall, perhaps like a tree, maybe a redwood, maybe a sequoia, maybe another kind of tree that particularly calls to you. Maybe you feel yourself as a different kind of plant, maybe a flower. Whatever comes alive for you is exactly right, exactly perfect. It might even be an animal. But I'm going to speak as though what's coming alive is you as a redwood, just for simplicity. But please Allow yourself to feel and see and experience whatever your soul shows you, and whatever it is you're feeling, because that is just the perfect medicine, just the right thing for you in this moment, in this time. And you might come back to this video even repeatedly and feel or know or experience a completely different thing. So there's no, again, no right and no wrong. It's all perfection. You are perfection, literally. So again, taking another long, slow, deep breath, and feel yourself, if it feels right to you, feel yourself as a deep, ancient, 2,000-year-old redwood tree, perhaps in the redwood forests of California, near the coast. You've been here as a being of Gaia for the equivalent of many, 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 many human lifetimes. And you have a way of knowing and seeing the world that is exquisite, that is deeply in tune as a being of me, Gaia, a being of the cosmos, a being of the sun, the star we call the sun, you call the sun, a being of all the others, the infinite other stars, star systems. And taking another long, slow, deep breath. I invite you now to feel and see in the inner, the center, the heart of my own being, Gaia, there is a spark of light. I am a being of light. And I invite you to feel and see that spark of light that is me at the core of who I am. And feel that spark of light emanating through my whole being, creating literally a magnetic field. And beyond that, the toroidal field, there's many, many components, both able to be perceived by typical human senses, and much more than that as well. So just feel and notice and see whatever you feel in your own being. No right and no wrong. But I am a being of light, just like you. And I invite you to just feel that light emanating from the heart of my being, filling my being. And then rising up through the root systems, the energetic and the literal physical root systems of you as this being who is perhaps in this moment this ancient, beautiful, incredible redwood tree. And you can feel the light of my own being rising up through the root systems, through the whole trunk, through every branch, and out to the top of the canopy of you as a redwood, and through the whole forest of this whole redwood ecosystem. And then taking another long, slow, deep breath, I invite you to feel a spark of light in the heart of your own being, wherever that feels like it's located, perhaps somewhere in the trunk, whatever calls to you or feels right to you. And then I invite you to feel and see and notice your branches open wide, spreading out at the top of your body and capturing and in direct relationship with the light of the star we often call our sun, this massive being of light, plasma, deep, incredibly ancient intelligence, beauty, life-giving force to everything growing and being and changing in concert with me, Gaia, you, all the creatures, all the beings here are in a constant dance with the light, the life, the pure love of this being of star we call our sun. So I invite you to feel the light of the star we call the sun emanating to me, Gaia, reaching the tops of this redwood forest canopy and specifically reaching the branches and the body and the being of you as this redwood tree, ancient being of me and of star light, of the star we call our sun. And invite you to feel the light of the sun literally entering the body and the being of you as the redwood tree and moving through the branches, through the whole trunk, meeting the light of me as Gaia and traveling all the way down through the root system of you as the redwood tree. So you're both the light of me, the heart of Gaia, and the light of the star called the sun, mixing, meeting, making love in a sense, earth and sun as one in a beautiful cosmic, earthly, Gaian star dance. And I invite you to feel also the beautiful flow and dance of water through your whole body and your whole being, mixing with this light of Gaia, the light of the sun, the star, the sun. And also the light of the heart of your own being, your own soul. So taking a long, slow, deep breath, I invite you just to be, just to bask in whatever this feels like for you. Again, no right and no wrong. It just is. So this feeling, exactly this feeling, this is light codes. This is what light codes are. Sometimes it's possible to engage with light codes in the sense that you get literal, actual light language. Sometimes it's It's just visceral. It's kinesthetic. It's just exactly like this, that if you imagine yourself, the human you, just lying out under the sun, just for a few, not to the point of getting sunburned, but even just lying and soaking up sun rays, you are experiencing light codes. That is what this is. It is beauty. It is deep, ancient, forever love. And it is literal intelligence of the divine as light, as whatever being you're engaging with. So in this case, the light of the star you call the sun. And now to take it one step further, I invite you to take another long, slow, deep breath. And now feel and notice how the earth is turning on its axis. And as it turns over the course of the day, the sun appears to disappear. So it goes from daytime to nighttime. And now I invite you to imagine and feel the light overhead of the moon, Luna, and infinite stars. So much starlight above you as this being of a redwood tree, an ancient redwood being, still engaged with the light of the heart of me as Gaia, rising all the way up through your trunk, through your branches. And you can still feel those light codes, or that light intelligence of the sun still filling you, still healing you, still loving you. You can feel the glow of that in your being, as your being, even though now the sun has set for the nighttime. And then I invite you to take a long, slow, deep breath, and let's together look all the way up and all the way around to these infinite beings we call stars. So in this moment, I invite you to notice and feel there's likely at least one star being calling to you, speaking to you. And let your attention, again, no right and no wrong, just let your attention gravitate to this one particular being. You don't need to know even necessarily who it is. Maybe it's immediately clear who this is, but just feel yourself being called to this one particular star being or star system. And then notice and feel, similar to the sun, that every single star is a sun in its own right. And most stars actually are much, much, much more massive than the star we call our sun. So even though the point of light from our perspective on Earth is, of course, much tinier than the massive experience we have of our sun, light, the light of every single star often will actually be stronger than the light of our sun. It's just much, much farther away. But if you were equal distance to most stars in existence that we are to this star we call our sun, the intensity would be much greater than what we experience of our sun. So even from this great distance, every single one of these stars likely is even more powerful in a sense than our sun. So taking another long, slow, deep breath, I invite you just to relax and notice and feel the star being who is calling to you. And notice and feel the presence of that star, the light of that star. Notice, again, no right and no wrong, any emotions arising in you, what comes alive in your own body, in your own heart, in your own spirit, in your own knowing. Could be absolutely nothing. That's perfect. There's no right and no wrong. And just just be with this for a few moments or as long as you feel called. What arises? I invite you to feel the light of your own being, the light of yourself as a being of me as Gaia, the light of the the reality of yourself as a being of the light of the star system we call the sun, and let your light connect as light with the light of this star being as well. So then you can feel and see how, if you imagine two cats communicating with each other or two dolphins communicating with each other, you can imagine the light of the being that is you and the light of the being that is the star connecting as light, light to light. So the sense of connection and communication between you and the star might be in words, might be in images, might be in emotions. It might just be a sense of light connecting as light. Or if you imagine a magnet with something that's attracted to the magnetic pull, like similar, it might be a feeling like that of just your light immediately connecting like a magnet with the light of this being, of this star being. There are infinite ways this might feel for you. And again, no right, no wrong, no need to have any kind of cognitive explanation or ability to even articulate anything. I invite you to just be and just feel whatever you feel, even if that's nothing. And taking another long, slow, deep breath. I invite you to just let yourself, as a being of light, as a being of me, as a being of Gaia, let yourself in whatever way feels just right for you, if this feels right for you, to just let go and let the light of you know exactly its own way. And let the light of this being who is a star know exactly its own way. And just feel as the light of you rises up and you just let go. And then the light of this being who is a star, that light rises up to meet the light that is you. And the light that is you and the light that is the being of the star just connect as one in a dance of remembering and knowing through this way of being. Again, similar perhaps to a cat talking with a cat, or a dolphin talking with a dolphin, or a butterfly communicating with another butterfly. Light knows light. There's no right and there's no wrong way to be doing this. And just feel, what does that feel like for you? And I invite you just to be here as long as you want, as long as you need. This, exactly this, whatever you happen to be feeling, this is light language. This is light codes. And this is one of infinite ways to communicate with the stars, with light itself, with your own being. And this is a major, major, major step in the beautiful experience of coming back home, of remembering exactly who you are, of relaxing, letting go of any sense that there's a right or a wrong way to be doing essentially almost anything, and a beautiful, needed, necessary component of this time of great, ultimate remembering. And so it is. Amen. All right. I would love to hear how that is for you. Is that helpful? Not helpful? Are you left with wonderings? Did something come alive for you? Um, yeah, if there's a part two to this that would be helpful to you, I'd love to do that. So let me know. How did that feel? What would be helpful as, is there another next step that would be helpful for you? Let me know. Yeah. Another thing you could, if you're drawn to, if you haven't yet, go to the Wholeness Way series, which is totally free. It's on my YouTube channel. There's a whole, it's a whole series. It's called the Wholeness Way series. And it's a month. It's a whole month of channelings that have sort of similar themes. Um, yeah, so that's another thing. Definitely, if you haven't explored that, go and do that. But I would be more than happy to do, a second or even a third part of this, trying to help really connect in with, what are light codes? How do we connect as stars? But please tell me what would be helpful, because it's hard for me to gauge that on my own. And yeah, that's what I'm here to do, is to help us remember. So tell me what would help in this moment for you. Okay. Yes. And if you haven't signed up for the free summit, it starts March 9th, this Sunday. Please, please, please sign up for that. If you feel called. Oh, I'm also going to be holding a free gathering with Chris Skidmore on March 23rd, which I've explained before, but the link is here, and that's also available for free. I would love for you to join that. And then if you want to really, I mean, really deeply go into your own relationship with the stars, with the cosmos, take this, but like to a mega level, then join me for Stars Speaks, which starts on April 1st. Yeah. But in the meantime, please let me know how this was for you. And again, if there's a second part that would be helpful, I would love to do that for you. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you soon.